Well, hey Libra, we are looking at what you are getting started. Got a little reading for you. Come along and just see what happens. We're going to start with an overall card from the Guardian of the Night. Beautiful tarot deck here. Let's see what this is all about. What are you starting? A Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, beautiful emotional satisfaction in and of yourself. Like this peacock, looking good. Magnificent. Okay, what's going on underneath the surface here with you? There is a feeling of, all right, you have been planting some seeds. You've been doing some work. You've been like this little spider, I never noticed that she is a black widow. Anyway, she spun these webs and she's catching her dinner. Would you call her a black widow? I would. All right, so this is a little bit of a stuckness. So you might have been waiting to emerge here as you're in this beautiful Nine of Cups. There is some pain here. This is your mind, air, swords. This is your suit, and it is at odds with the heart. So you can have like a feeling of obsession, of pain, of loss. You can see that there's a kind of shackling feeling and something has escaped. And so you're left feeling lost. And then I know this feeling well. It's like obsession of your mind, and you keep having trouble coming to terms with and accepting what has happened. And so that it hurts. And then you think about it and it hurts. Right? So that's a Three of Swords. On a very basic level, it's some kind of heartbreak or heart pain that is caused by your mind. Okay, and then we have you on your own. This is a beautiful card of self-sovereignty, the Nine of Pentacles, a little hibernation period. So this feels like the backstory that is like what happened before, and now you're starting something really beautiful and magnificent and visible. You're coming out as yourself in this beautiful Nine of Cups. All right. Well, let's ask about this. Okay, so I have some questions, and then I will clarify what answers this deck gives. The Muse Tarot, it has lots of reflections in it. And I think of you because Justice is your card, a mirroring energy. Okay, so we're starting out on a Nine of Cups. What sparked this? Muse of Voices, the King of Air, King of Swords. Very beautiful card of balancing your mind, your intellect, what you know, with grace, to use the truth with grace. That's what this card tells me about. Okay, so it's like you've come somewhere in your mind, and that's your element, your mind. And beauty and art and knowledge, these are your strengths here. And so we can see that there's something very fundamental to you and your way of going about in the world that has sparked this. And that makes sense since we see you in self-sovereignty like this Nine of Pentacles on your own in your beautiful little home. You're providing all your needs. And so we see that this emergence of you and of your heart and of your wish is very much sparking from your very nature. Okay, what you bring to this new adventure? Death, great. I love it. Transformation. You have undergone some kind of a significant transformation. You know how to do what the Death card teaches us to do. So I'm your Scorpio reader. This is my card. I'm very comfortable with this. It doesn't mean you are the angel of death. What it means is you've gone through pain, and we know that, right? We know you've gone through some pain, and that you have learned, and you have a capacity to shift from the total conflagration, the fire of pain, where your whole world burns down, and that you can rise from this, and you are transformed by it. It's not over. It is simply about a transformation. So it looks like there's something that you put a lot of heart and time into. The Seven of Pentacles tells me that broke your heart. And then it caused you to go alone. And the positive of this Nine of Pentacles is that you learned to provide for your needs. There's a kind of, I'm self-sufficient. So we can see that here, like you have an ability and experience in transforming pain into something that you learn. Okay, what you still need to get this wish fulfillment, you need a Knight of Emotions. This tells me that you need to remember how to go forward with your heart. This can be hard after your heart gets broken, right? Your heart's not likely to want to go forward when it has been through that. So that's what you need to learn next. Or this could also mean, I'm loath to say this, but it could mean there's a Knight of Emotions, somebody who comes forward with their heart, a classy love offer. And that's what is coming in next. What you cannot yet see. There is a Two of Voices. You actually have a choice between two truths. The Two of Swords. Again, your mind. And you can see like the two women's heads. You see all the mirroring, and her hair is tangled. And then there is a door, there is a choice that you will make between these two choices. So it's a feeling of being torn between two things, but you're somehow not aware of this. It may be that you have a choice you can't yet see. Now, the outcome will be the Hierophant. Hierophant is card of Taurus, card of structure, tradition, the divine in a traditional form like a church. This is a very different kind of representation of that, the person looking up to this kind of goddess figure. So it could also be a mentor, a teacher, or you becoming that kind of person in the future. We will clarify what's going on underneath. Underneath the surface, you begin with some emotional loss and some feeling like, oh, it never works out the way I want it to. We know that you're actually starting, this is the opposite of that. Like, I didn't get my wish, I do get my wish. So that's underlying here. And then there is some kind of a new passion, a new inspiration, a creative idea. It's very exciting. So that, I would say, your ho-hum, been there, done that feeling, that's going to be a state that you're brought out of by inspiration, but you might not see this inspiration because you're focused on lack here in the beginning. Let's clarify. All right, Libra. So, the spark that sets you out on this Nine of Cups adventure, this adventure to personal emotional satisfaction, is this very graceful use of the truth. So has somebody perhaps brought you the truth? Let's find out. Let's see. I have kind of a headache. Not bad. There is the Fool. There's the beginning, the beginner, the leaper of faith. Yeah, and I can kind of see how these dancers are on the edge, right? So they're making me think of, and it's like, and then I think of the Two of Swords. Like, there's which way are you going to leap? This way or this way? Kind of feeling. So that's one piece of the clarification. What else? The Empress. Wow. The Earth. The most beautiful, nurturing, supportive energy. It's a child and it's a mother-child feeling here. What else? And death. There's transformation for you, Libra. And the transformation is you're starting out on a journey that is very earth-centered. It may be, we're in Taurus season. And so I'm feeling Taurus here with the Hierophant. Empress is also associated with Taurus. Oh, and then the North Node is in Taurus, which is, and the South Node is in Scorpio, right? So we have that going on here. So like Scorpio and Taurus, North Node, South Node. In your past life, you're really comfortable with this sort of Scorpiotic way of being. And so in this life, you're learning how to be more practical, more earthy, less in the darkness. And so yes, you come with some capacity to work with the transformative energy of death. That's interesting. And you're going towards this Taurus earthy energy. So it's like very, very much a beginning of a journey that the collective is on. Yeah, and that's why we have this tension. It's like North and South Node. What we're talking about with nodes, it would be on your chart. For example, on my chart, my South Node is in Leo, and my North Node is in Aquarius, directly across. And we're talking about the nodes of the moon. And you don't really have to know that much about it unless you're curious, and you can look it up. But that's coming in here. It's very much a journey about shifting from one way of engaging with the world to another. And so you're setting forth on that. All right, so what you already know, and this would be exactly what your South Node is like you are good at transforming loss into a new beginning. This new beginning, the Fool, heading towards the Empress, it's like, it feels so big, Libra. I feel like I kind of get big readings for you lately, but on some scale, the end of the world is the beginning of a new world. And we see your broken heart. We see something that you really put a lot of time into, and your heart getting broken, and then you go in your hibernation, and then you come out like this beautiful peacock. So it's definitely a journey of transformation. So let's see. This is what you bring. Cool. A 5 of Wands. This is conflict and competition. It's also very creative. Wands are the spark of inspiration. And there's no leader here. There's just great ideas. 5 competing ideas, and it can feel uncomfortable, like fighting, or it can feel like a great discussion. There's a 6 of Swords, and this is the energy of dropping old ideas and stories and thoughts and moving towards this rainbow, towards the new possibilities that are much more peaceful. So if there's fighting and conflict, you would drop whatever is causing that, all the weapons, and move towards justice, which I always associate with Libra. And she's coming around a lot lately, the Mother of Swords. She has clarity, she has heart, and she uses the truth she basically cuts out what is harmful, and she uses it to move towards her best interest. And that's definitely something that you have learned to do, and that you bring to this new project, this new 9 of Cups project. So what you need, and therefore we would assume it's what you lack, but let's find out more, is a Knight of Emotions energy, that to be the one, or to meet the one and work with the one who goes forward with their heart. Because you're very intellectual. You've got the Sword of Truth, the Mother of Swords, mind, air, that's you, Libra. Very beautiful. Going towards justice, the Empress energy. So what's this Knight of Emotions? The 7 of Wands. You can see that you have the light in the darkness, and that your idea prevails. So in that 5 of Wands, there's competing ideas. Here, you have integrity, you resist the push of others, and your light lights up the darkness. More fire, the Father of Wands. There's a leadership here. So if there's anything wishy-washy in your willpower, And then you're it's like a strong heart, strong will to go towards what you think is right. And then we get the Six of Cups, inner child work, nostalgia, reflection on the past. So this is that cups, that emotional energy that the Knight of Emotions is about. So what I'm understanding here is that you need to learn to have integrity through a process of revisiting who you are. And then from this knowledge of yourself, of your history, could even be like inner child work or looking at your past. It's sometimes read as a soulmate connection, and the Knight of Emotions could be that soulmate energy coming in for you. You will see. This is unclear because we can't yet totally see. This is what you lack, right? So look around in yourself and let this help inform you about what you need. To me, it looks like these roots to your past, like when you dig into those, they give you a sense of who you are and of what you want, and it enables you to be the leader of your life. But it's coming from your heart, this self-knowledge, right? And then you get the cups here. You get this wish fulfillment with that sense of your heart, of your emotional history, of who you are and what matters to you. And then that shores up your integrity. Okay, what you don't know, there's some kind of a dilemma here, a choice between two ideas. And so there needs to be a decision made. And that's kind of referencing back to the shifting from what you used to do and what you've become good at, which is the transformation that death represents, towards the kind of, so if we think of death versus the Empress, we see the end of the world, and there's something in your life, on some scale of your life, that feels like a death. And it's very, very painful, and you're coming back from that, and you're good at that. But now you need to learn how to grow a new world. The Empress, you need to know how, like if the earth is blackened, you need to learn how to fill it with flowers or something like that. So that's a little bit of what I feel this Two of Voices is about. So we get here the Devil. So these are thoughts. Again, we saw that here, and you do know how to transform these kinds of defeating thoughts. The Devil represents like addiction, codependence, self-defeating thoughts. I can't. You drop those thoughts and you move towards justice, or I can. Right? So that's one thing that you're working on. Then there is, interestingly, and very much the other thing you have going. In you is a light. And you go alone and you look into your history, your personal history, like the Six of Cups suggested, and you find your wisdom and the light in you, and you let this guide you. And it very much makes me think of this. So you have both inside of you. You have both thoughts that will defeat you, and you have light that will lead you and guide you. So that's the dilemma here. And once you sort that dilemma, there's that cardinal energy. This is what gets us started, that pulls you forward. And that's that Alpha, Father of Wands, integrity of the Seven of Wands that we were just talking about. I think that the truth that the Hermit finds is in your heart. And your element is the mind. So that devil, the way that the devil gets in your mind and says, it never works out. Don't even try, right? You need to let this take over. Inspiration. Trust your heart. Trust your fire. The wands are your fire. And use that momentum of your heart and of your passion to drive you forward. But it's a very, very challenging dilemma that I don't think you really are aware of the scale of this dilemma. And these are all major arcana cards: the Devil, the Hermit, and the Chariot. So it might feel like a small being torn, like a two of swords. That's small, but it's big, right? And I think it's bigger than you realize, and that's what the cards want you to know. Okay, so we see you in the future under the Hierophant, more Taurus energy. So what else about that? Remember the Empress, that North Node in Taurus, that growing back over the charred landscape of this loss. Okay, there's your mind. The way that a butterfly might be afraid to open with all these pokey things, but you are free to fly. And that's the truth that this cocoon has. So yeah, so we want to see you spread your feathers, right? So your mind says, I can't. Then what? And then there is the happiest card in the tarot, the Sun, wish fulfillment, authenticity. Wow, beautiful. It kind of reflects for me. So if we think of that Eight of Swords of like, I'm tiny, I can't, I'm too small. And then see all this sort of sun, this sort of the aura of this large figure. So there's tons of tension between two truths that are in competition here between that. But the Sun is major arcana, the Eight of Swords. It's just a perspective problem. So once you see the Sun and trust, this is who I am, happiness, wish fulfillment. And there's earth energy here of being stubborn, of being slow, of doing it right. The slowpoke, Knight of Pentacles, or the Son of Pentacles. He's such a stubborn little deer here. Yeah, so both the Hierophant and the Son of Pentacles suggest that this is an earthy, slow process of emerging, like this butterfly spreading your wings, and like the sun, certainly sharing your light. That coming to that is, it takes steps, doing it one step at a time. And we've been in eclipse season. So we just saw the full moon in Scorpio, and it was the last Scorpio eclipse. And there is something about, it's like you've learned the lesson of Scorpio, of the death card, of the South Node. And now you're shifting to learn the lessons of Earth, of abundance, of there is something about self-sovereignty, about liberation and justice that I always associate with Libra, which is here for you as well in this process. But you're torn, and it's a big torn feeling. And the reason, that's interesting, it's very emotional, underlying. So your emotions are confused, all right? There is pain. It's that same Three of Swords image. It's the Four of Cups, but this is really painful, the Five of Cups. And then this is very confusing. You project, you imagine. It feels like emotional confusion, and then your thoughts are confused. And so you need to find emotional certainty in order to move forward in this very, it feels like, be optimistic. You're starting to shift towards the optimism. And almost like this peacock is so different from this bear. Like this one's in hiding all alone by herself. And this one's so visible. So it's like you're coming out. Right? And I feel that too, like coming out of darkness and into the light, catching all that pink. There's so much moving from darkness to light, right? Lighting up the darkness with the sun. And you, my friend, Libra, you light up the darkness. And you're starting to believe that. And that's a real optimistic shift for you. So, give it a chance. On the bottom of this deck, upside down, meaning what's coming in is the peacock. This is the same card. So when I see it upside down, it's coming in. It's not quite here yet. It's what you're starting. And that's what this is about. You're starting to believe in wish fulfillment. All right. Let me know. I hope this helps. And have a beautiful day.